Hey, welcome to another episode of the Border Hookups Go RVing.
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about boondocking, and we're going to give you some tips on how to do it.
Boondocking.
Stick around.
Stick around.
So before we get into this episode, we just wanted to say thank you. Thank you all so much for helping us to reach and surpass the 1,000 subscriber mark.
Woohoo!
Since we have a lot of new viewers, we thought we should take this time to introduce ourselves.
So my name's Dave, and this is my wife Jacqueline, and we are full-time RVers, and we work our way across the country playing music as the Border Hookups and getting people healthy through Jacqueline's health coaching business. Oh, by the way, we shoot videos too in our spare time. So thank you again for watching, and enjoy this next episode. So one of the coolest things about living on the road full time is that you meet tons of people.
People who are like-minded, and that's a lot of fun.
Right, and so we met Scott and Ruth, and they have been doing this for probably 3 years. And we hung out with them, and we did some boondocking with them. We went to Mexico for an afternoon, got our teeth cleaned, got some glasses. And then, so we asked Scott if he would come in and kind of help us out with this video and give us some tips.
They have a lot more experience than we do. We've been doing it quite a bit. We know this is what we want to continue to do, but they just have more experience.
Right.
So we got a lot of pointers from them, and we wanted to be able to share that with you.
Plus the fact that Scott is far funnier than we are.
And he has a great hat.
Nice lid.
We have some experience on this one.
Yeah, we do. Gray tanks, black tanks, fresh tanks.
Yeah.
And our gray tanks fill fast.
Yeah, we have 2 gray tanks, and we ran into a little issue because the first gray tank was filling very quickly.
Yep.
So we needed advice.
And who do we go to? Scott.
Thank you very much, Dave and Jacqueline. Let's talk first about our gray tanks. A lot of that has to do with washing dishes. It can actually use this in the shower. So, for example, this is a collapsible bucket. You would actually put this in the shower with you, in front of you. Now, granted, are you gonna catch every bit of water? No. But for the most part, the key ingredient is you're gonna catch enough water in order to use this in your toilet water. So instead of using and filling the bowl up with fresh water, which you're trying to save and conserve, right? You're actually gonna use the water from the shower to fill the bowl of the toilet in order to use it. So that's a great way to save your, number one, save the water in the fresh tank. Also, not trying to fill your gray tank, because that's the one that fills up the fastest. And also too, you'll most likely then use this to wash down whatever information you have there again in the toilet. Now, one other thing that we can use, you can use these sort of tubs. These are, you could do the Sterilite, you can use whatever ones you can get. Most places, whether it be a DIY type store, you can find these. Sometimes even at the dollar store. So this would be good for washing dishes. You can actually have a actual washing bin, and then you can use one for a rinsing bin. And then that way you can actually monitor how much water you're using, so that you don't just keep the faucet on and then have no idea as to how much you're really using. But you can actually conserve more by actually seeing it as more of a visual. So that's how, this is what this will be good for. So with that, I'll give it back to you, Dave and Jacqueline.
One thing you'll find is when you roll into a campground, a boondocking site, BLM land, take your pick, if somebody's trashed it before you got there, it kind of kills the buzz. Right?
Yeah, you're in this beautiful outdoor area, and now you're picking up someone else's trash.
Yeah, so who knows better about that than Scott?
Let's ask Scott.
Let's ask Scott.
So, that's a great topic. Tread lightly. Not only is it with your camper, or for example, some of the areas, if you know that it's going to be hard to get to, be mindful of that. Meaning, a lot of these different areas will have areas that are cordoned off, They want you to park within those for a reason, because we do get some folks that aren't necessarily treading lightly, and they will try to use 4x4, etc. in order to pull their rig to the best possible spot, all the way to the top of the hill or down by the river. Now, the other part is that creates more of an issue, because if it's a soft landscape, you're going to have erosion issues, you're going to have all kinds of different things. There again, treading lightly means do not pack your tires up with mud and then go drive down the country roads. That's not what we're all about. So use that, as well as tread lightly, meaning if you're going to go packing, pack another trash bag with you. If you have the ability to pack stuff out, or even then if there's stuff laying around, meaning there's another dumpster, use that. Be kind. There's other folks that are not following the rules, but be mindful that, you know what, sometimes it's better for us to actually go and help the environment by collecting those things and just throwing them out and just easing the burden of everyone around us. So that's a great tip. So tread lightly, folks.
When we pulled into our most recent boondocking spot, we noticed a few other campers, but we wanted to make sure that we stayed as far away from them as possible.
Yeah. So let's have Scott talk about that.
Okay.
All right.
So, Dave and Jacqueline, this is a huge one for beginners, whether it be people that have been doing this a long time, but being mindful of other people's space. And I mean that through, don't be parking next to them, don't be parking on top of them, don't be buzzing by their rig if you've got ATVs or side-by-sides. The other is generators. If you don't have the opportunity to buy a generator right away, it's okay, but don't go out and panic and buy the worst generator that they make. A lot of these contractor grade generators are the ones that are open caged, and you will spend a little bit more to get a quiet one, but that's okay. I'm telling you now, save your pennies for the quieter one. It will help not only you, it'll help those in your rig and those around your rig. Because once people start running those big noisy generators, guess what? You are like stinky fish in the park. Dave and Jacqueline, I hope that if anything, people can use that information wisely. So back to you.
Because I'm working on the road and
I'm working on the road.
Yes.
Not very hard, but I am working on the road.
No, but you don't need the internet connection as much as I do unless you're uploading video.
I watch my Disney movies.
So, we need to drive around when we're boondocking and make sure that there is some kind of cell signal somewhere so that we can tap into it with the hotspot.
Yeah. So Scott, take it away.
So Wi-Fi signal can be important. The other part of this is that you have to be mindful. There again, there's, of the 3 major carriers right now, then there's other options that are coming. You will be, there again, responsible for that part of it, meaning you have to drive around. You're gonna have to, you can't just assume that everywhere you go is gonna have the greatest signal. So what we do is we actually have 2 carriers. And there again, if you're working on the road, you'll have your own means of trying to figure out for signal wise. But with that, just be mindful. There again, you're gonna have people that are trying to work from the road. There again, just use your best judgment. Don't be parking right next to them and hogging up their space as well. There's only enough bandwidth in order to make everybody happy. So just be mindful of that and find your own space.
Full disclosure on this one, we do not have a dog, cat, ferret, hamster, gerbil, any of that stuff.
No goldfish either.
We should get a goldfish.
I would be so curious to know if any of you out there that are RVers have a goldfish, and how do you do that?
Yeah, that is one surfing goldfish.
Yes.
Yeah, but Scott and Ruth have 3 pets.
Yeah.
They have
2 dogs.
And a Shetland pony that they travel with.
No, they have a cat and 2 dogs.
Oh, I always thought it was a Shetland pony.
You know what?
Oh, I'm disappointed.
Let's let Scott talk, okay?
All right.
If you have pets and you're bringing your cherished loved ones with you, be mindful of that as well. Be mindful of the people around you. If you have barking dogs, make sure that you can contain your barking dogs. There again, that with loud generators will be the first part of you not actually having anybody responding to you or responding to you in a negative manner. So, if you have pets, number 1, bring plenty of water, have space for them. The other is be mindful of the people around you and clean up after your pets. I know some people say, oh, it's a little dog, it's a big dog. Know what? It's your dog. So clean up after it and be respectful of those and others around you. Back to you.
when you roll into a boondocking site, it's not always level. And so you need to make sure it's level. Otherwise, your door's swinging this way, that way. The water's not working. The fridge isn't working. So you know what? I could go on and on and on all day. I'm going to let Scott explain this one.
Okay.
So a lot of times you can do one of two things. You can bring a host of leveling blocks, but sometimes, depending upon where you are, first you should look and be mindful of where you are. Sometimes you can bring a small shovel and you can actually dig one side down versus the other, but it all depends on the location. If you're in a high traffic area, meaning that when you're disturbing the soil in that manner, it could actually make for a worse time regards to erosion. So be mindful of that. The other is there's natural things around you. There might be rocks. There might be other areas to park even 2 or 3 feet from where you think is optimal in order to negate having to build up a bunch of leveling blocks. So be mindful, be creative, but also come prepared. So back to you.
One of the things that we've heard that's a good thing to do is to make meals ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I don't do that, and I haven't done that yet, but I believe that Scott and Ruth have.
You're really going to use it as one of our points and you've never done it? But you're saying they have. So therefore we have credibility via them.
It doesn't mean it's not a good tip just because we haven't done it, because we haven't boondocked that much.
Are we getting into it now? Is this how it starts?
So, you know I win every time.
I know. Scott, take over quickly, quickly.
So with food prep, it can even start at the store. You can buy different ingredients at the store in order to help you boondock longer. So what I mean by that is a lot of it is if you have Tupperware, if you have boxes that you can get rid of there at the store, then do so. That way you can use bags or you can use Tupperware in order to help you out and mitigate all the trash that you might have once you're out boondocking. The other is meal prep. For example, if I were to buy something in order to have a meal or a couple meals, let's take hamburgers. Hamburgers don't require nearly the amount of work and or prep or cleanup than you would, for example, as in spaghetti. If you had spaghetti, you had noodle water, you had sauce, now you have 2, at least 3 pans that you're dealing with. That can be that game changer to whether or not you can stay there for an extra couple days. It might be 3 or 4 days. So plan your meals effectively. Number one, it will be a reduction in the amount of wastewater you're using, the amount of space that you're actually having to attain for trash, and then also too, it just eliminates the stress out of what are we gonna do during this time. Make your time more enjoyable by using your time more efficiently in the beginning. Back to you guys.
Oh, this is your favorite.
This is kind of a good one. When we go to get food at, say, Walmart or Fry's or whatever, pick your poison, it has a lot of packaging with it.
A lot.
A lot of it. So I don't want to tread on Scott's turf.
Okay.
So we'll just go there.
Let's send it to Scott.
Let's send it to Scott. How do you send it?
So how do we effectively manage our trash while boondocking? Well, first, as we talked about, is you can take care of a lot of that at the store, meaning a lot of our garbage comes from what we are actually eating. So taking that into account, Ziploc bags, you can do Tupperware, etc. Like plan your meals effectively. The other part is you are going to have some sort of consumables that you need to get rid of. That is a great point. Use that effectively, meaning a lot of times there are dumpsters within the park that can be used. There's times that there are actually land, the dumpsters that are by, or there's an actual transfer station. So look, use Google. You use it for everything else, use it for trash sites. There are options out there. And I will take into, this is for example, Quartzsite. In Quartzsite, Arizona, they actually have put in free for use, and if I remember right, it's Sunday through, I think, Wednesday. During specific times, it's like 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. They actually have free dumpsters. You just go there and throw your trash away. But you'd be mindful of those around you. There again, it just takes a little bit of scheduling in order to know that there are different areas that you can go dump your trash. So, don't necessarily go to the local Walmarts and everything else and try to throw your trash away, right? Sometimes you can actually offer up $2 or $3 maybe per large bag, and people will take that. But be mindful, ask first before you actually just throw it away. So with that, back to you guys.
Hey fellas, I'm talking to you on this one. If you really want to conserve black water tank space,
Well, you can actually just pee outside if you'd like.
hey, thanks for watching another episode of the Border Hookups Go RVing, and please remember to subscribe and to ding that bell so that we can let all of you know as to when we have more episodes coming out.
And if you liked what you saw in this episode, please give us a thumbs up and place a comment below. Let us know what you thought or give us ideas for future episodes. We hope to see you out here.
Thank you again for subscribing, and we'll see you out here. Did you notice that I breathed in and then was going to say something and I held that breath and then it came out at the very end?
Did I
It's not a
notice?
big- yeah.
I don't really
You don't
care.
notice my breathing habit? This wind. Goodness. We're playing hide and seek from the wind right now around our camper. It's coming this way, and now it's this way, and now it's this way.
It's
Doesn't-
everywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to get it going through the dead cat. Not really a dead cat, it's what you call the... Here. There you go. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Border Hookups.
My name's Goose, and my co-pilot Maverick here, flying around out here, Top Gun School. Hey, how are you?
We do not have a dog, we do not have a cat, we do not have a gerbil, hamster, a ferret, a dog, cat, ferret, gerbil, dog, cat, ferret, hamster, gerbil. Fellas, on this one I'm talking to you. Fellas, I'm talking to you on this one. If you want to conserve black tank space,
Let's
or
ask
yards.
Scott what he thinks.
Let's ask Scott what he thinks.
Well, I should probably get going.
Yeah? That was quick.